Alright, so I'm Ben. I'm one of the 8 creators of Cards Against Humanity, which we call a party game for horrible people. It's a very straightforward party game about matching questions with wildly politically incorrect answers and creating novel combinations and laughing with your friends. It's sort of the core of the experience.
So what's the process? I think I heard someone earlier saying, what's the process for getting the cards? Because some of them are almost like the sickest things I've ever heard.
Well, so the 8 of us have been friends since we were like 11 years old. Quite some time. We all grew up in Chicago together.
Yeah.
And so when we get together once a week and brainstorm for 2 to 3 hours, and we first come up with just a list of cards that are sort of candidates. Then we argue about those just to death. We scream and yell at each other until we all want to kill each other. And then we come up with a few just a small selection of those cards that we want to move on to sort of a short list. And then from there, about twice a year, we meet to elevate cards from our short list to our final game. And that basically involves yelling at each other again for an hour for every card and playtesting it with every other card in the game.
So tell me, how does a normal game get played? Just explain to the viewer.
Sorry?
How does a normal game get played?
A game of cards. So we don't have any open right now. I guess I will open them. Alright, so there are a lot of black cards that are question cards, and then, so we have question cards such as, what would Grandma find disturbing yet oddly charming? So one person who starts as the card czar picks a black card just at random, puts it on the table, and then everyone else who's playing, which has got to be at least 3 other people, ideally like 5 or 6 other people, will have a handful of 10 white cards. And so each other player will hand, one of their cards face down to the card czar. So in this case, let's say there were 5 people playing, and so one by one I would read back, what would Grandma find disturbing yet oddly charming? Sperm whales. Why not? What would Grandma find disturbing yet oddly charming? Panda sex. Probably true. And so it continues in that sort of fashion until I've read all of them. Then I pick my favorite, and whoever played that card gets to keep the black card as 1 point. And then it moves on to the next person being the card czar, and you play until you're done.
And how do you feel about being at Indiecade, and what that means?
I mean, this is our 2nd year showing cards at Indiecade, and my 3rd year at Indiecade just as a guy here at Indiecade. And it's really awesome to be here with all these people who are sort of following the independent path, which is not necessarily the easy way to go, despite what a lot of people think. You need to do a lot more on your own. You have no one to rely on but yourself. And it's great to see the huge success that this segment of the industry has been able to build up in the last few years.
And so, would you say this is a party game overall, or just what would you say about
it's a party game. Yeah, it's a party game. I mean, it's best played with people you know very well, so you can play to their specific sense of humor. But it works almost as well with a bunch of strangers. I mean, it's good for if you're with 9 people you've never met before. It's a great excuse to sit down and start saying, fucking dick for, an hour without having to worry about. It's the cards make you do it, right? It's not you saying it of your own volition. You're just reading a card, and it really breaks the ice quickly.
And so there's 2 expansion sets now, or?
There are 2 expansions, yeah.
And was that just like, let's try and think of much sicker things, or just is it current culture?
I mean, so we update the main game every 6 months or so. Get rid of pop culture references that suck now, or cards that just aren't playing well. And then the expansions are just more content. It's just like once you're sick of the core set, you buy the expansions, and introduces more cards for you to play with, and it just makes the game bigger, makes the game last longer. We do go a little bit farther into left field with the expansions, just because we know that people buying the expansions probably either already have the main game, or if they're buying all of them at once, are going to be into it anyway because they're willing to invest more money into it. So we do go a little bit stranger and darker with the expansion cards.
Okay, well thank you, Ben.
Keep killing it. Keep killing it.
Oh, Jonathan.